Sunday, July 17, 2022. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Sunday. Let's get to the updates. I've had a lot of people messaging me asking me to contact a lot of different people in the alt media. Thank you for the suggestions, but it's much more helpful if you reach out to these people. We've already hit a brick wall in this area, so if I reach out, they seem to want to just ignore me. If you reach out, they may listen. It's a huge way you can help. I'm also having a lot of people contact me asking to look up who is sovereign in the alt media. Some good names and suggestions. We already submitted some names listed here, so I'm awaiting word on that. Gideon said today they've looked up 3 of those names so far. The following are some exchanges between myself and Gideon over the past day. Thank you to Michael, as always, for his editing help. When I'm on Telegram, I'm getting exhausted by the amount of info pouring in. It's not just there, it's all over the internet. There's 10,000 sources of info exposing truths and so on. What's going on here?
Information overload by design.
Some of it is good info. Some of it, like the stuff Max Egan is putting out about the technology in the 1800s, there's a name for it, I forget. I can't keep up with this stuff.
There are actionable truths and passive truths. They want you focused on the passive truths.
What do you mean by that?
They have sovereigns whose sole job is to pump out overwhelming information on various esoteric subjects that don't pertain to your life or the current threats we face. It's information that takes you away from applying things to your life.
Is this a new phenomena? There have always been people saying, here's the secret to everything. Graham Hancock, David Wilcock, David Icke come to mind.
They've always been around. Some are genuine, some have good information. This is different. They put this program in place a few years ago. It's gone into overdrive. They are flooding the internet with nonsense to literally cause truth seekers to experience mental overload and to keep them consuming information that has no actionable purpose in their lives.
This passive versus actionable truth, explain that.
You have to base your data on real-world facts, on reality. You also have to consume data that helps you take action in some way to save your own life or protect your own life. You need knowledge you can use, either now or in the future. The passive data, like researching technology from the 1800s, it's fascinating, but it's not applicable to your life right now. Our world is being destroyed second by second. This is survival. What they have planned, which is going to happen very soon, is the end of humanity. Your children will be force vaccinated. What is more important than that?
I can't think of anything more important than protecting children. Should people just ignore these things, the passive truths? What should they do?
They have to learn to prioritize information. If you are spending all day reading about Q, then you are just sitting there reading about how some other people somewhere else might be doing something.
Right, Q is all about how there's this good part of the military who are going to get the bad guys at some point.
What are you accomplishing in your own life if you are reading that? How does that information help you either now or in the future? It's just telling you a story about how someone else is doing something while you do nothing.
It doesn't do anything for you.
How can that information help you make decisions?
It can't.
Is that information even accurate or based on real-world data? Can you verify it? Can you confirm it?
No. With Q, with a lot of this, no, it can't be verified at all.
Remember how I told you to look for confirmations?
Yes, I was telling people about that. It's incredible. On the drone stuff, on the CBDC stuff, on us eating bugs, it's all there. Everything you told me 6 months ago, it's happening now. It's mind-blowing for me. The biggest confirmation is the alt media. That really shook me.
That's verifiable. What we are trying to tell people can be verified. It's information that is actionable, that is also pertinent to your own life, right now. You're not wasting time learning about these things by listening to us. You are actually gaining data you need to have.
I agree. Knowing about these things, it's very relevant to all of us.
That's the information people need to prioritize. Otherwise, you are playing into their game. They want you to belong to a ton of movements, spending all day consuming information, focused on theories. Much of it has nothing to do with actual reality at all.
It's fantasy.
It's complete fantasy, disguised as truth. In some cases, it is truth, but passive truth. What we are talking about is reality, happening right in front of everyone.
That helps me understand what's going on a lot better. By the way, did you get that huge list of questions that guy sent me?
Yes, I went through it. Do you want to reference it?
Let me pull it up. Okay, I'll just go through this. He wants to know, why is someone classified as common versus sovereign? What makes that determination?
Sovereign class is transitioning the current role players into a new role. The current system is run by people in this so-called cabal. They are initiates. Whether Jesuits, Freemasons, Illuminati, Jewish mysticism, they are all part of a larger group that uses them to move this agenda forward. The software moves them into one classification, sovereign.
You're going to upset people with some of that, because they are convinced any one of those named groups are the real head of the snake.
They're not. The initiates believe each group they are a part of is the top of the pyramid, by the way, which is a method of their compartmentalization. For example, the highest level Freemason or the Pope are not running things, though they may believe they are. The named group isn't known. I've never seen it on the internet. I suspect what it is, I'm not certain, but I suspect I know it. But if I name or describe it, that would escalate us to level 5. It's not worth it.
I guess that's passive information.
Yes, knowing the exact name of the overarching cabal is not very relevant, but they want you to waste hours upon hours sifting through the internet to find it, researching and researching, going down rabbit holes they created that lead nowhere. It would not change anything, knowing the precise name. This is where people get lost, convinced they found the one true group of bad guys above all the other bad guys, with gematria, symbolism, cues, vague coded language, trying to understand all of the rituals of the elites. Some is helpful, some is completely made up by them to distract, some is accurate. Most of it is not relevant to what we are facing. You want to have a good background understanding, and once you have that, move on to actionable data.
What if people hear this and think you are trying to distract them from the truth?
I think they will understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to emphasize the prioritization of certain data over other data, because we don't have a lot of time left. I'm sure people can understand what I mean. If we had the luxury to explore every possible rabbit hole, I would fully encourage that. Encourage the expansion of knowledge, the journey of knowing. But I also know this cabal has programs in place to distract and misdirect. So what may seem like a journey of truth is in fact an endless, meandering, circular path specifically designed to keep you from the truth. More often currently, their programs are designed to keep you from taking any action and instead deferring your power to another group, such as QAnon. We aren't doing that at all.
You don't think there's any chance there are good people in the military fighting the bad guys behind the scenes?
The idea the American military is doing anything to stop this is laughable. They are either doing nothing and watching the country be destroyed, or they are actively involved. The military has been corrupt and compromised from top to bottom for decades. It is now more corrupt than ever before, because they've removed the good people, or the good ones retired long ago. If they were going to do something to save the Republic, it would have been done a long time ago. Nothing has been done.
We were talking about the vaccines approved for children. How could the military let that happen if any of them were good people?
They are letting it happen. They are standing by and watching millions of children be murdered. Somehow, the Q people will find an excuse as to why they can't take action. This is how you let them know the American military is not coming to save us, and if they do, they're coming to save themselves, not us. They are not preparing to arrest thousands of Satan-worshipping pedophiles and save the world. They are either complicit with and involved in or allowing it to go on.
It is all garbage, the Q stuff.
It is a very well-funded, robust disinformation campaign designed to completely neutralize patriots. It has been likened to Operation Trust, and this is accurate.
But didn't Trump do some good things?
He did, but nothing of lasting impact against the cabal. Trump made some token gestures against the New World Order, all of which were reversed, or will be reversed by Biden. He made people doubt the media, which is good, but then they all flooded into the alt media, who are all sovereigns and controlled. He had to do some good things to gain the trust of patriots. It worked, but he also hired every sovereign person in DC to fill his administration, and not a single criminal went to prison in over 4 years. Can you explain that to me?
He didn't really do anything.
The only lasting change was on the Supreme Court, which has no bearing on anything. The reset will happen, and the last thing they want are their transhuman babies to be aborted. They would never let Roe versus Wade be overturned if it didn't serve the agenda. Abortion is a blood ritual that will never cease, either. But for them, they now need vaccinated women to give birth. At least the ones who were given the nano-hydra vaccine.
It makes sense they want the vaccinated babies to be born. Okay, let's move on here. He wants to know about private property. How will it be taken?
This is not controversial in terms of how it can be done, but you are going to have people very disbelieving of this. They won't be able to accept it. Let's look at reality. First, there will be a collapse, so asset values drop to nothing. The sovereigns buy them up. They're already buying it all up. This isn't a secret. They are concentrating the wealth and moving it into USDR, a closed system the general public cannot access. When the reset happens, it's seized by decree. It all becomes property of this new superstate. What it will be called, we're not sure. We think they'll keep the names of countries in place for a period of about 6 months, then announce the name of the worldwide government.
What about, say, someone who owns an acreage, a boat, a few cars, a collection of art? How does that work out for them?
After the reset, they will get to live on it, but they will pay some kind of rent per month. It won't be a lot. In the long term, the plan is to move them off the property and into the cities. But that is further off. That won't happen right away. Once they're vaccinated with the nanohydra, then it might happen. By decree, it's no longer theirs. There is a cap for assets for each group. It's very low. Each account will categorize what assets you own, probably based on some kind of prioritization. Your washer and dryer is yours, but the boat is not yours anymore, for example. Everyone will get a list of this issued to them. It should show up in their bank account, like a downloadable PDF, describing all their assets, all of the details of the reset.
He wants to know about private companies. How will the economy function?
They will be seized by the state. It will be a communistic system. But in America, we think they will have some type of shell company placeholders so the public can accept it better. Amazon will still be Amazon, just owned by the government. The CEOs have all been replaced, by the way. Their wealth is secured. They fully support the plan, even if the traditional idea of their public company traded on a stock exchange will no longer exist. They're moving it all into USDR.
He's going on and on about why would people still work? Why would people do certain jobs? Why wouldn't they just quit? He doesn't think UBI will work, the universal basic income. It will cause people to not work.
The universal basic income will work. After a collapse, it will be embraced by most people. There will still be job requirements. If you don't actually do your job, your UBI is gone. Now you are broke and homeless.
He's asking, why would someone become a brain surgeon?
They have them in communist countries, so how is that possible? There will be incentives and perks. We talked about this with respect to the common class. They won't give you USDR, but they will provide coupons and vouchers. Now, imagine if you lived in Cuba and you have nothing, and the government offers you 5 extra coupons for bread or rice per month if you follow a certain career path. In lieu of nothing, such an incentive would appear attractive. You have to realize the cabal is going to downsize the model of American consumption. How many times must it be said, you will own nothing and be happy? That sentence alone tells you what is to come, but people don't listen.
I guess you're right. They are telling us exactly what will happen.
They will reduce the available freedom and opportunity, choke it off, and then provide some crumbs. So with all things equal, if you are offered some crumbs, those crumbs look better than no crumbs at all.
Americans don't get this.
The rest of the world will adjust to this better, because the mentality isn't the same. Americans are the most aggressively consumer-based economy in the world. That is changing, because this cabal is walking away from the growth, fiat, fractional reserve, central bank-based economic model. It made them incredibly powerful, but it has a lifespan. It cannot go on forever. It is going to collapse, so instead of letting it just blow up in their faces, it will be a controlled collapse to transition the world into communism. But Americans think this model can go on forever. It can't. They lost their freedom, constitution, and the soundness of their money in 1913, and further back than that.
He's asking how will people pay for medical care or the internet?
He thinks communist countries don't have these things? Tell him to educate himself on communism, and then return with his questions.
Okay, so you're saying we have to just dispense of our capitalistic understanding with respect to this software and reset?
Yes, the capitalistic model is being thrown out because it's about to die. The debt is into the many trillions. It cannot be paid back. They are replacing it. It could be replaced with freedom, sound money, the banning of usury, and a humanitarian sustainable model. But that would threaten their power. It would also dissolve their transhumanist plans and experiments. So they are going a very dark route instead.
He's asking what their justification is for sovereigns not to have the vaccine.
Why would anyone poison or kill themselves? What kind of question is that?
Okay, he has more questions. Some of them are really stupid. He's asking why I live in Vietnam. Because that's where I live.
Don't waste energy on some of these people. You know, some of them are agents, just there to drain you of energy and keep your wheels spinning.
I know. Some of the questions I get, I'm wondering if they are just really stupid people or trying to just waste my time.
IQs have dropped dramatically from the electromagnetic pollution, poisons in the food and water, and the vaccinations during childhood. The younger generations will put up no resistance to these plans. None.
I know, it scares the hell out of me. The young people, they're totally brainwashed and weakened.
They stand no chance. They will be absorbed right into the reset and new system. The metaverse and video games will keep them passive and compliant. Many of them will be okay with it. None of them are educated on freedom or the Constitution or human rights.
What about this momentum that seems to be building, more people waking up?
Very good question. Let's walk through this. First, we have to realize this anti-vaccine, anti-Great Reset movement is not very large. I'm not saying that to be negative. It's reality. It has power. It's doing good things. But I keep careful track of the total views on social media. I told you to look at some of that.
Yes, I did.
There are not enough views of this information. It is not exceeding a few million of the same people seeing it over and over and sharing it. What does seep out into the broader public may be dismissed, because many who are vaccinated will not look at the truth or admit they were wrong. You are also forgetting the power of the media and their control. They are still pushing propaganda and lies, and this is being consumed. You are forgetting half of the truth movement is co-opted by gatekeepers, sovereigns. They are steering the conversation to where it will not be a threat. You are forgetting that right now they could not do the Great Reset, but during economic turmoil, it will work. They know this. As much as you may hear some grumbling and disagreement with the current state of things, once the collapse accelerates, people become desperate. They will dispense their ideologies in favor of safety. Even if there are a growing number of people annoyed with the Great Reset, once collapse happens, they will be able to offer universal basic income and the restrictions of the classes, and it will be generally accepted. You have to also remember, no one will know about the sovereign class. We are the only ones telling the truth about this. If the public doesn't know and thinks everyone is common class, including the elites, the powerful, the celebrities, it will be much more widely accepted. It will be seen as an equalization. They will say, capitalism caused this mess. Here's a solution where we are all equal now. They will celebrate seeing their rich neighbors reduced to common class.
What sucks is I know you're right, not enough are awake.
Even those who are awake will find themselves submitting and complying with this. The same way many people didn't want to take the jab, but they did anyway because their job required it. They threw their lives away for some momentary security, and they will again.
What's the way humanity can stop this right now?
By exposing the Great Reset, but if you just say, we think there's this reset thing and we think it's bad, that's not very specific, is it? Do you think the cabal is threatened by that? No. If you show people, here's the software and the class system, it's been exposed by hackers, now maybe they listen. They see the actual plan. They see the real data. It's not a vague concept, it's a real, actionable concept. It's actionable truth, not passive truth.
Thank you, Gideon. Listeners, if you would like more of this content, please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.